I'm going to do a walkthrough of Notability and the places where I think it could be useful. So I'm just going to start with the basics that I've already shown some people who came to the tutorial that I did last spring, but I'm going to run through it again quickly. When you hit plus, you have the option to create a subject and to create a divider. And this gets a little confusing because it seems like you use the subject for language arts or math, but you actually use the divider. So I'll put a math divider, and I'll put a global studies divider. Then within the dividers, you can put subjects. So global studies, I'll put unit 1, and then I'll put, for math, I'll put fractions. Then I can move where fractions are from global studies into math. So I'm just going to keep it like that so you get the general idea for the basic organization piece. You as the teacher probably just need your main subject. So I'm just going to keep my global studies, and then I'll just delete the math ones that I created. So for global studies, I'm thinking that we're probably going to be using a lot of Google Drive to do things like typing when I have things that I want the kids to respond to that way. But there are a lot of times where I'll want the kids to be able to draw things or complete things using a stylus or using a pen, or to be able to annotate text from the textbook. So that's how we'll probably integrate Notability into global studies. So one thing I mentioned was the ability to annotate text. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you, we have an online textbook. So I'll go to our online textbook and I'll take a screenshot of, let's say, a section that the kids are going to be reading. To take a screenshot, you're just pushing the home button and the power button at the same time, and it takes the picture. And then I'll do it again, and you have your screenshot. So I'll double click the home button, change back to Notability, and within my unit 1, I'll go ahead and choose new note, and then I'll add in a photo. And I'll pick the photo that I picked today, make it larger, and then I have the ability to annotate it. So I will pick my pen. Let's say I want to take notes. I don't have my stylus with me at home while I'm recording this, so it's going to come out a little different than how if I had a stylus. But let's say I wanted to highlight and circle all of the subheadings so that I can follow along with what this chapter might be about. So here are my subheadings. And let's say I want to highlight the headings. So you get the general sense of what you can do with the annotation, but remember you can also record yourself. So as I'm annotating, if I hit the little microphone button at the top, sort of middle right, I can record myself while I'm annotating. So I could also be reading out loud to myself and then listen to it play back. So I'll do it for one so you can see. The field of geography. Geography is the study of people, of Earth and its people. It helps us understand how people, places, and environments came to be and how they affect each other. When geographers look at something on Earth, they ask questions. Where is it? Why is it there? How did it get there? So there it is. I'm going to play it back. I don't think it'll play back while I am doing this recording right now because the sound doesn't work because I have it plugged in. But essentially, if you hit the little arrow pointing down, you have the ability to play your recording. And yeah, it's not gonna play back. But if I weren't plugged in and recording this screen recording right now, I would be able to play it back to myself. So there's one way, just basically, if you're teaching English and you want them to write out in the margins, you can shrink that down and you can have them taking notes in the margins. This is why I recommended the kids get a stylus. If I had my stylus at home with me, you'd be able to see a lot better. I'll show you what I did with a stylus. So at one point I was doing, you have to touch the screen with 2 fingers to scroll down. So I did this with a stylus. So I was doing a little drawing to talk about the pillars of Islam. So you can see it's a lot easier to do things with a stylus. Okay, so that's basically the first idea of annotating text. Another thing that I am going to have the kids do is when they fill out maps, it'll be nice for the kids on their iPad because they can either pull something in from Google Drive. So if I go to my Google Drive, if I were a kid, whatever you put in Google Drive, they can easily open it into Notability. They don't even have to actually go into their Google Drive. You can do it straight from Notability. So if you just go back, up in the upper right-hand corner, there's a box with an arrow pointing down into it. If they click that, they can choose Google Drive. They'll have to sign in to their Google Drive the first time, but then whatever things are there, they can go ahead and choose from that folder. So I'll pick 2015-2016 class material, Global Studies A, and like let's say I had a map that I wanted them to download. They could just pull it straight from the folder. It downloads from Google Drive, and then it pulls it into, and I can create a new note or add it to another note. Let's say this was a map. I could just go here, and here's what I just pulled in. Now, obviously, on something like this, I wouldn't have them pull it into Notability, but I'm just showing you how easy it is to pull something in from Google Drive. Another option, besides pulling something in from Google Drive, is if you want to actually bring something from Edline. So the kids, the nice thing about Edline on the iPads is it looks just like Edline on the computer. So I pulled up some material from last year. I opened up a practice map, and then there's a box. You can see it come down. They just have to tap on the screen, and you can see open in, and they can then open it into Notability, create a new note. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do both because this was the practice and the key. Import it. Here it is. And again, this is something that I would do definitely with a stylus. So I could start labeling my map here. So you get the general sense of what you can do, pulling things in, drawings, charts, tables. Let's say I did want them to fill something in with a stylus. I do have something in my Google Drive that I'll pull in. So I'll go back, pull in from Google Drive, 2015-16 class material. So let's say I want them to complete this chart, and instead of doing it in Google Drive, they're going to do it in Notability. So again, they can blow it way up. So they have the option to write smaller, test, writing. You can also, at the bottom right, you see the plus button, and you can take a text box and move it, and then you can write down below. So if you really want to get more perfect looking, you can say, you can write bigger, and then you can see how up on the screen it gets smaller. So those are two things. All right, something else. So this might work to have the kids go around and take photos and use them for measurements. You could do it for scale in math, but if we did a new, I'm going to get rid of this, so I'm just going to drag this down. So now I'm back to my normal size. I can add a photo, and let's say I had the kids go out and take pictures of something that I knew was 10 feet tall. I could pull it in. You get to see all my photos. I was doing this for a project I was helping somebody with last year. So I'll pull a photo in. Let's say that this was a measurement. They could then take measurements on their iPad and label things. I saw somebody at Shorecrest doing this with different measuring tools, and the kids had to show what the divisions were between inches and centimeters or milliliters on different measuring utensils that they were going to be using in science. So again, annotating pictures. You can insert for math if you wanted to have them do some graphing. you could insert this grid paper, and then you could have them use that as the axes to give you another idea. I think that this is going to work best for math. If you put your information and your material up, I'll put my math divider back in. If you're going to put your information into Google Drive, the kids can easily open something into Notability, and then they complete their math worksheets right here in Notability. So again, just pulling it into Google Drive. It's easy for the kids to stay organized this way. It syncs really well. Another really nice feature is bottom left, the wheel. It automatically will back up. So there's the option to auto backup to Google Drive. When I do a little orientation with the kids, I'm going to have them set it up to auto backup to Google Drive. They can also share with you if you want them to choose a note. They can share it with you, export it back to a Google Drive folder, or send it as a PDF in an email. There's a lot of ways for them to get it back to you. So those are just some ideas on Notability. If you have any questions, let me know.